Hi, welcome to episode 12 of Let's Dig In with Maddie and Brie. I'm Maddie and this is Brie, and we are both nutrition and hormone specific coaches at CrossFit Glen Burnie.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This nutrition talk today is all about mindset. More specifically, we are going to dive into the right mindset to achieve your goals. All right. So, when you think about a health and wellness journey, you probably think about losing fat or gaining muscle.
Yeah. But going further, you probably think about how many workouts you hit each week, all the foods you eat or perhaps don't eat, how much water you drink, and maybe even things like sleep and
And those things can all be important, but we're missing a piece of the puzzle. What if we told you that there is actually something even more important that may be holding you back from reaching your goals, both short term and long term?
At CFGB, when we work with clients, we ask about exercise, nutrition, sleep, and stress. We also asked about support system and mindset because we know that these things play a role in balancing the whole person and setting them up for success to reach their health and wellness goals.
I was working with a client for a few months, and meeting after meeting, they weren't finding the progress that they were hoping for. We would shift the action steps each time, hoping to find, the answer that was holding them back. Each check-in, I would hear something like, well, one day I got really busy and forgot my lunch. I ended up grabbing a pizza, and then the rest of the day went downhill. Then I stopped and got fast food for dinner and found some cookies in the back of my pantry. When I woke up the next day, I was so upset with myself that I ended up having a donut for breakfast, and it just continued. She mentioned that she's never going to lose weight, and this is going to end up, she'll end up gaining even more weight to the point where she sounded increasingly more defeated. So, our goal is to set clients up for success, and we never want you to feel defeated or in self-sabotage mode. But we know that this is easier said than done.
When it comes to our health, it is easy to get wrapped up in all or nothing mindset. It is easy to feel pressure to constantly strive for perfection. It is easy to only focus on the result rather than the journey. If we fall short, we tend to rebound. That is why today we are going to discuss how your mindset may be dampening your motivation and making adherence feel impossible.
And as you know, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple habit-based approach to help you reach your goals one step at a time. One of my favorite quotes is by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So picture this for a minute. You're in the gym and you're about to perform deadlifts with a new PR. You step up to the bar and think, this is so heavy. I didn't sleep well last night. Look at the time. Is class almost over? This is going to be so hard. How do you think that lift is going to feel?
Yep. Now picture stepping up and thinking, I've got this. I can do hard things. Let's finish this workout strong. Now, how do you think that lift will feel? You see, our thoughts are directly related to our actions.
In an interview, a New York City-based therapist stated shifting your mindset about how to lose weight is the biggest factor in losing weight. We can't shift our weight from the outside without realizing the correct inner resolve and intention.
Yep. So, to help you visualize this idea, let's discuss the triangle that links the three domains. So, we have thoughts, behaviors, and feelings. This idea stems from the evidence-based treatment referred to as cognitive behavioral theory.
CBT helps you become aware of inaccurate or negative thinking so that you can view challenging situations more clearly and respond to them in a more effective way. Sometimes we'll say, if you're having intrusive thoughts, my anxiety is lying to me. So just putting a name to it, calling it out. So, as you can see, mindset is crucial to your journey and may be that factor that's holding you back. If you're ready to get the mindset to keep your motivation up and adherence high, follow these next three steps.
First step, establish your why. Before mapping out how to get there, we must first understand where we are going and why it is so important.
If you've been trying to lose weight, have you taken the time to ask yourself why you want to lose that weight in the first place? If you started a fitness routine, do you truly understand the importance of why you started? As you take time to dive deeper into your why, aim to establish that strong emotional connection with why you started.
This may sound like to be more confident in my own skin or to be around and active in my child's life. I've also heard from my own clients making the next 15 years the best 15 years. So, having an understanding emotional connection to your goal or your why can help you refocus when things don't feel easy.
And also, this doesn't come naturally, I will say, for everyone. Maddie, have you ever had a client comes in and they're like, I want to lose weight. And you ask why. And they're like, well, because I want to lose weight, right?
Right.
And
Yes,
so
absolutely.
sometimes we do have to go back and help them think through, what's that root cause, their real why. So if that's
Yes,
something you struggle with, take some time to think about it. We can also chat with you and help dig out that real why.
a reflection activity.
Yes. So step two is goal setting. Take the time to set the stage to a healthier mindset by establishing some goals.
Okay.
And when we discuss goals, there are two types of goals. First, we need to discuss our outcome goals, or what we refer to as SMART goals. These are the goals you wish to achieve in a specific time frame that will help you get there. And here's the most important part: motivate you.
Yes. A SMART goal is a written goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Here's an example of a goal you may have. I am going to lose 20 pounds. That is a great start to a goal, but to go further to make it a SMART goal, losing 20 pounds is specific and measurable, but we need to define the time. So now we turn our regular goal into a SMART goal by saying, I will lose 20 pounds in 5 months. Remember, a realistic weight loss goal is about 1 to 2 pounds per week.
And having something specific will help you focus your efforts by looking at the big picture. And ultimately, it's going to increase your chance of achieving that goal.
Did you know that we offer free goal setting sessions? This can be in person or virtual, and it usually takes 20 minutes to chat and to dial in and support your specific goals. You can schedule yours by visiting our website, CrossFitGlenBurnie.com, or even comment on this video and we will reach out to schedule. It's
Right.
one of my favorite things to do.
Yes, I was just going to say, Maddie does these all the time, could probably do them in her sleep. The great thing is that it's very customized based on what you want your goals to be. So it's, yeah, definitely worth it. All
Yeah.
right. Speaking of goals, our second type of goal is the process goal, which are things that will help you take small steps towards achieving that end result, that written out SMART goal. So these process goals are what we like to refer to as action steps. They should be only things that you can control. I want you to be so confident that you would bet your house on it.
A huge tip for a great action step is to only write them in a positive. I love this. Here's what I mean. What if instead of writing, I will not eat fast food for lunch, we shift it to, I will make my lunch and take it to work X amount of days each week. Reframing negatives into a positives or can'ts into cans is a game changer.
Yeah, I can't agree with that more. That's perfect. So I want to explain a little more that power of reframing things into a positive mindset. Now, I am not a golfer. Are you, Maddie? Aside from my trips to Topgolf with family and friends, this story really resonated with me when I heard it. So, a professional golf coach was working with their athlete and found themselves on a hole with water all down the right side of the fairway. As the athlete set up for their shot, they thought to themselves, don't go in the water, don't go in the water. They swung that club, and sure enough, right into the water. So the coach asked the athlete what they were thinking. And they said they heard that inner voice chanting, don't go in the water. So the coach said, take another shot, but this time I want you to think to yourself about hitting toward that big tree down the left of the fairway. The athlete did just that, and sure enough, their ball was on the left side of the fairway with a clear shot to the green for an easy par. The coach explained that you must visualize what you will do rather than what you won't do. So, thinking in the positive will help you focus and align yourself in order to find success and move forward in the direction that you want to go. So, if you are only visualizing the failure, where are you going to go?
Right. So just like the golf story, because we've got to bring it back to lifting, and visualizing the deadlifts earlier, what is your biggest opportunity for reframing a negative self-talk to a positive? Maybe just jot down the scenario and some positive thoughts that you could use to reframe. So let's move to step three of finding the mindset that will help you achieve your goals. All right, this one, refocus, reframe, and recover.
When things are going well, it's easy to continue on having a great mindset, right? If the day's sunny outside, everything's going your way, we're going to be in a great mindset. But we all know that life isn't a straight line from A to B, and we are not robots. So our journeys come with twists and turns, and this is why we need that step three. So let's keep going along with bringing your lunch to work as that action step for the SMART goal of losing 20 pounds in 5 months. Imagine that you are busy and you forgot your lunch and end up eating way too much pizza and soda at the office that was brought in for work. You may be thinking that you messed up, and now you slip back into thinking that you failed, which may lead to other snacks and treats that pull you further from your goal.
Or maybe you miss one workout, so you get down on yourself, and then a whole week goes by and you didn't make it to the gym. When you are starting to feel yourself slipping into that negative mindset, let's remind ourselves to reframe the situation. Rather than focusing on the negative actions today, what have you been doing really well over the past 2 weeks? You have been doing really great at staying hydrated. Or maybe you didn't make it to the gym this week, but you did get some extra time with family.
Now, go back to your why. Did what take you away from the action steps align with your why? If you are the person who wrote down you wanted to be more active and present in your child's life, then reframe and celebrate that you took more time to be with your family. If what pulled you away from the action step is not aligning with your why, then it's time to reframe and refocus. And reframing is all about looking at that big picture rather than this one moment in the long journey.
Are my thoughts true, helpful, kind? So, refocusing is the next R, and this is all about reflection or digging into your thoughts even further. We all have this little voice in our heads that verbalize our thoughts to us. Sometimes this inner voice is positive, and sometimes it's not. Next time you have a thought during a valley in your journey, ask yourself, is the way I'm thinking making it easier for me to act how I want to act, be who I want to be, and feel how I want to feel? While you are refocusing and reflecting on your thoughts, try refocusing your breath by breathing in positivity and exhaling those thoughts that are not serving you or your purpose. Then ask yourself, what is the best thing I can do right now?
Another trick that I've always used and passed on to a lot of my clients is those negative inner thoughts. I want you to think, would you let someone talk to your best friend that way? And it's easier said than done, but sometimes if we take ourselves out of it and put it in that perspective, it can click a little better. And sometimes a breath and a refocusing question isn't enough, and that's okay. A well-known sports psychologist helps her athletes with a thought-stopping process that includes a physical and a verbal cue to signal they're refocusing. This could even be, a clap in the hands followed by a verbal stop. Trying the breathing and or this thought-stopping process, try that out and see if that works for you, or if reframing, asking yourself, would I tell this to my best friend? Find out what works for you.
Okay, so next we start to recover. A great way to recover from this negative self talk is to replace that with a positive thought. Wendy Swift, an incredible sports psychologist, gave this example of a strong positive replacement thought. I don't have to wreck my whole day because I got caught up and didn't have time to pack lunch. Calm down. The only meal affected is lunch. I will go to this store and I will eat a proper portion and carry on with the rest of my day on track.
And the only rules for this replacement thought is to ensure it has positive language. It is in the present tense. It is task focused and it is believable. So start practicing these replacement thoughts by writing them down. Write down those moments where you feel your motivation is slipping downward. And I love this quote on here: one positive thought at morning can change your whole day. And
Yep.
that can also be true for a moment in the middle of the day, right? When you're having a rough time, just think of that one positive thought to get your day back on track.
Yes, I also take this mentality with gratitude too. So I look for one thing I'm grateful for to help shift my mindset.
I love that. All right. The next aspect of recovering is deciding if you need to adjust your goals based on the current situation that pulled you from the action step. Do you need to adjust them to ensure you are once again 90% confident and perhaps confident enough to bet your house on it? You will either establish new action steps to fit your needs or refocus on how to get back to that previous action step if you feel that it's still realistic with your current situation. The best thing you can do to help this is mindset shift, is talking with your support system and also your nutrition coach. So, we can help walk you through this process and always be there when you need some adjustment.
So, when it comes to mindset, it is so important to reach our goals.
Through this presentation, we have discussed the 3 steps to help you start finding the best mindset to reach your goals. This included establishing your why, proper goal setting, and how to handle adversity with the 3 R's. If you are looking for help to find the right mindset or the right path to reach your goals, be sure to ask us how to get started with one of our nutrition programs or reach out for that free goal setting session.
Thank you so much for joining our nutrition talk today. Now, take the next few minutes to continue filling out the reflections that we just discussed and feel free to ask questions as we use this time together.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.